The grid is gone. Your job is no more. But you've still got power. Introducing the OUPES Mega 3.0 kilowatt hours of pure lithium iron phosphate fury. Enough juice to keep your bass guitar growlin', your Mario Kart racing,
the Hammer Brothers!
And your Atari bleep-bloopin. Long after humanity has rage quit the server. Forget beans and bullets, this bad boy's got 3,600 watts of continuous electron flow and solar panels that slurp photons like a dehydrated lizard in the desert sun. When the end comes, and it will, you'll be the only survivor with surround sound and a flawless Wi-Fi connection. The OUPES Mega 3, because the apocalypse deserves a soundtrack. Power down? Never heard of it. When the end of the world hits, what's Rex gonna be doing? Well, I'll still be able to do whatever I want because I got the OUPES Mega 3. I can plug in a bass amp and a guitar amp and a PA all at the same time and run them all at the same time and still do my music practice lessons with the band during the end of the world. That's my plan, what I'll be doing, okay? You can still turn on your lanterns and run your crock pot heaters. You can still play Atari at the end of the world if you have the OUPES Mega 3. Pretty gosh darn cool unit. Thank you, sweetheart. Come here.
%.
Okay, didn't even move it 1%, huh?
Not one.
Hey guys, Rex here. We were able to test the Mega 3 by popular request from OUPES. It is a portable power station that is quite a bit larger than the first one we tested, which was a highly transportable, very lightweight unit that's actually light enough even for like an injured person to carry. It's not bad at all. This one is a lot bigger, a lot more powerful, and a bit more stout. It is transportable. My wife was still able to move it around with wheels, and it has the carry handle deal. So you can pick it up if you're a strong dude with one arm, but it's a lot heftier than the other one. We were able to use it for quite a few things over the last couple of weeks. We actually spent an entire week, over 7 days, camping out here at the Rex place recently, and we used it for a variety of camping activities, including a giant projector projected onto the building where we could play Atari. We also used it to heat up a bunch of crock pots, multiple crock pots at the same time. Totally heats them up, no problem. We ran the table saw when we were working on a project out in the yard. With the table saw, it'll start up the table saw. So it's a lot more powerful unit than many of the other battery things. I've had the pleasure to try out. We also got the 240 watt solar panels to try those, although it's mid-October at the time of this testing. We're at a northern latitude and the sun's pretty low in the sky. I don't think we had the full performance there, but I'll share with you kind of how it worked. First off, let's get into the basic specifications. I'm just going to read these to you so that you can understand kind of what class it's in. So the OUPES Mega 3, it has a battery capacity of 3,072 watt hours. It has 3,600 watts of power and 7,000 watts surging rating. So that's for like starting up big motors. So on a table saw, like a decent, I have a nice Bosch table saw, pretty good table saw. It takes a bit of power to just start up that motor to get it wound up. And a lot of those units won't have enough to trip it over. This thing absolutely fired up like it was plugged into any wall. Absolutely no problem. And we did a bunch of cuts with the table saw on normal lumber. And I looked at the battery, it only moved like 1 or 2% running the table saw. Pretty gosh darn cool. So it has a decent battery capacity of 3,072 internal in the base unit. The inverter output is 3,600 watts continuous with a surge rating of 7,000 watts. The AC input charge capability is up to around 1,800 watts. The solar input, you could put up to 2,100 watts in there. We have expandability. You can add some B2 battery units to give it quite a bit more power. The weight of the unit is about like a heavy, large stage guitar amplifier, around 80 pounds or something. So it's pretty heavy to pick up, but it does have the wheels, okay? So the intended use that I think that would be handy for me is like a serious emergency power backup for in the shop or in the home. This thing is going to run your furnace a bit longer than a smaller unit would, or your fridge or your freezers or whatever. And I think it's going to have plenty of power. If you have like my furnace up here in North Dakota actually runs on 110. So I can easily plug that in there. It's going to have more than enough power to start up and get everything roaring. And you can keep it. You don't have to run the furnace continuously to bring the temperature back up. This thing does feature the lithium iron phosphate batteries that are pretty long life and pretty stable. They're not as prone to like heating up or run away as some of the other designs. So it's a very nice, long-lasting battery design. It is incredibly fast to recharge. If you plug it into the wall to recharge it, and when you have the power on, it's going to recharge in like an hour, maybe a little bit more than an hour from zero. We ran it all the way down almost every day during the testing for the week of camping, and then we used it for a number of other projects. And, it charges up so fast. Now, the solar bank for us up here at this latitude in October, the sun's pretty low on the horizon. Even on a bright day, we got it pointed at there. And after about an hour of solar charging with a 240 watt panel, I think we got it from 0 to like around 10%, maybe 9%. So you could charge it even kind of in the later months at high latitudes, but I suspect that charge is going to work a hell of a lot better in like brighter areas where the sun has a better. We're looking through a lot of atmosphere that's why it's so cold in North Dakota, because you don't have the solar heating, right? You're looking through a lot of air because the sun stays low on the horizon. And so it didn't charge up as fast as like what I was reading for other guys, but that makes sense because we're at a higher latitude. It is nice to have that option. You could absolutely charge it up. I think if you're rationing power in a bad situation, or you can get a couple more solar charging banks, and you should be able to keep it topped off a lot easier. This thing has a lot of ports on it. It has a bunch of DC outputs. It has one 12 volt, 10 amp car socket output. It has two DC 5521 ports for 12 volt. No, I think they're 5 amps each. It has one Anderson port to 12 volt, 30 amp. It has some USB ports on it. Of course, this modern technology has all your smart features. It has app controls, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, all that kind of stuff that confuses dinosaurs like me. I didn't even try to attempt it. I'm sure it's easy to do. It has a little phone scanner deal. That stuff just makes me want to throw a chair out the window, so I didn't test that part. I just like charge it and then like plug stuff into it. That's how I roll, right? If I need to see what's going on, I'll bend over and look at the display, which the display in bright light, if there's like sun shining on it, is kind of hard to see. And maybe there's an adjustment for the tint on that thing, but you kind of got to get a little bit of shade over it sometimes. At certain angles, you just can't see it at a glance standing up. In low light, absolutely, you push the button, it lights up, and is very easy to see. The dimensions are 22 inches by 11 by 14 inches. So it's a bigger unit. You're not going to put it in a briefcase. And it does have some cooling fans when you're charging it or when you're using it. It'll automatically maintain its temperature. And it's a little, I mean, it's noisy when it's running as cooling ports when you're using it or charging it.
8:57 p.m.
But, I mean, you have power. It's a lot more quiet than a gasoline-powered generator, that's for darn sure. So our experience was that, gosh darn, you can run big, heavy tools on it. That's pretty cool. You could run your home furnace on it, depending on how it's configured. At least I can run mine on it. And, you know, this is North Dakota, man. It gets 70 below in the wintertime. We don't have little baby furnaces up here. It'll run stuff. You can run multiple crock pots, heating things that normally draw a lot of power. One of the things that actually drew the most power the most quickly, even more than the big power tools, was a projector. Okay? And I didn't realize how much juice an old school projector will take. Those light bulbs or something, man, they suck a lot of juice. And we were able to watch, the kids wanted to watch like Lord of the Rings or something. So they watched the Lord of the Rings trilogy when we were camping out there, just doing the projector on the side of the building. Now, is this tactical Delta Force FTX level camping training for the end of the world? It is for me. At the end of the world, the kids are going to be able to play Atari at the Tibor house, at least for a while. Why? Because I think it's fun. So they also played Mario Brothers, and that was a lot of fun. So it will power an 8-bit Nintendo, and it will power an Atari and a computer and a DVD player and the projector all at the same time for hours and hours on end, which does take a lot of juice. That was a lot of fun. So it was a pretty cool unit, man. Actually find a lot of value in that. It's very nice. And it's a huge peace of mind to have something so easy for an emergency. Now, let me explain something to you guys that you might not realize in my context. Up here, the biggest threat for a power outage is in the terrible blizzard. Now, when we have terrible blizzards up here in North Dakota, you don't really want to go outside and fiddle around with trying to gas up a generator and keep that gosh darn thing running or get it started. You got to wake up every couple hours to keep that thing gassed up to make sure it's good, to make sure you're not going to poison yourself with carbon monoxide. There's a lot of considerations with gas-powered emergency power. I don't like it. It's also very noisy. And it's complicated. But a battery bank like this, if you got a lot of juice on hand, you can survive a lot of short-term power outages, even in the wintertime up here. And all you have to do is plug it in and hit go. It's literally a button. It's already, you can store it in the house. You can keep it topped off, plug it in the wall every once in a while, make sure she's topped off, use it once in a while. It's healthy for them to be used. Having to go outside in a blizzard to drag a generator over to the power pole and then find the cord. And I mean, I'm talking blowing snow, 40 below, you know, up to your armpits. That sucks. That's terrible. And it's dangerous. A lot of farmers up here have died in their yards getting lost in the whiteout with the snow. Because sometimes you get turned around, you can't see even your hand in front of your face because it's blowing snow. It's caking on you and burying you faster than you can wipe it off. So it's not always an option to go outside and find the generator and hook it up during a blizzard. During a blizzard, it's just good to stay in the house. That's an outstanding feature in terms of my context, is just having it in here. We don't have to like go and risk being outside, getting lost on the yard, getting lost on the way over to the barn or over to the shop, right? To find that sucker and turn it on, right? So if you, I mean, your context, I'm sure, is going to be a little different. But for me, I find that to be highly convenient, super convenient. And with as many ports as are on here, man, if you know it's going to be a short-term deal, you can run all your stuff. Very, very cool. So if you are serious about your preparedness, these things are pretty affordable considering how much juice they got. They're like under $1,000. That's the price of like a half normal rifle nowadays. That's pretty. And a few years ago, $1,000 was like actually a lot of money to most people. But now with the stupid inflation and all that bad stuff, $1,000 really is not that much. And so with as much performance as you get in this package is something worth to consider for one of your options for a backup power supply. If you guys have any questions, you can leave your comments below. If I see your question, I'll try my best to answer it. I'll send you the link to the unit. Most of your questions are going to be most accurately answered by the website if you want the real specs. Of course, if you use the link and the code, that's helpful to the channel, and it should give you a discount. So I appreciate your support, and I hope that these videos are helpful to showing you some of the stuff that's available on the market today. Rock and roll. You guys have a good one. And if you want to party during the end of the world, rather than sitting there all sad without your guitar amplifiers working, right? Because like when the end of the world happens, you should be able to still play your guitar, you know what I mean? Then maybe consider this unit. You can keep it topped off with your solar, and you'll be good for quite a while. All the people come from miles around to hear you play your guitar when the power goes down. All right, Rex out.